Hey guys, we are live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today I have a brand new guest for you guys. I have Flores Resales. Hope did I say that correctly?
Yeah, Flores Resale. That's my tag on YouTube, Instagram. I think anywhere I have a social media presence, that's what I use. My
All
name
right.
is Nicholas. Yeah, I've been a full-time reseller now. 3 years next month. I'll hit 3 years as a full-time reseller. Yeah, it's been what's been paying the bill for a while now, and yeah, so far so good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, tell everybody in the audience, your name, who you are, where you're from, and then tell them a little bit about, that you're what you do. You said you're a full-time reseller,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
live.
yeah.
What part of California you live in? I know you live in California. I don't know what part.
Yeah, I live in California, SoCal. I live in the Inland Empire area, actually. I've been here most of my life, I want to say now. Like I said, my name is Nicholas Flores. That's where you get the Flores resales for. Yeah, pretty much SoCal is where all my family roots and everything is for. I mean, I was born in Mexico. That's why I got my flag behind me and everything.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I've been doing reselling on and off. Mostly started during college. That was like 2008 to 2010, something like that.
Yeah.
And then that was Craigslist, mostly local stuff like that. And then I think I opened my eBay store in 2012. And then from then, just kind of dabbling until all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, let's give it a shot. Let's try to make a full time living out of it. And yeah, like I said, 3 years will be coming up next month that I've been doing it as a full time seller.
Okay, cool. So, you look young to me. How old are you, man? You look really young to me.
I'm 29.
29. Okay, you look
Yeah.
more like 24, 25. You got that
Uh,
young look, man. I don't know what it is
it's
though.
the
So
oil I put here and my moisturizer.
is that what it is? All
Yeah.
right, bro. So tell me, man, how did you first get started into reselling and kind of what was your like 9 to 5 job before you left the corporate world to be a reseller?
I got started reselling when I went with like when I was in college. For me, it was pretty much just to pay the books I needed for my college classes. I didn't have money for that. Based
Yeah,
on my background, my family, we just didn't have money to be buying all that stuff. That's how I started. I started flipping iPods when they were first like a big deal, iPods, shuffles, and
yeah.
nanos and things like that. And obviously in college campuses, I mean, there was a lot of those. So I'd pick up iPods and sell that stuff, and that was paying my books, paying my meals and my gas to commute. So I mean, that kind of got me there. At the time, I was also working at Starbucks. I was a barista there for a long time. I think that's the longest job I had, 5 years or so, a little bit that I stayed there. But when I finally ended up leaving to my full time job to become a reseller, I was working for the local city department here. I was working for the water department. Like you said, definitely corporate corporate town, and I just couldn't do the cubicle life anymore, and I decided to take a chance and jump on this.
Now I got a question. Are you married or are you by yourself? Do you have a family or anything, or is it just you?
It's just me, just me. No marriage, no partner, nothing like that right now.
Okay, cool. I was just wondering because I posted your photo on Instagram and I had somebody that like had like a same like last name as you, and they like liked the photo. So I was like, is that his girlfriend or his wife or something? Because he never
Oh
mentioned it before, so I didn't know. All
no,
right,
no,
what?
no! It might be my family. They're really supportive. They're always liking and sharing and everything.
Okay, well that must be
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I was just curious. So hey, we're live. Let me say hello to a few people in the chat. I wanted to say hey to my buddy Kelly Reseller Louise. He lives out there in California. I don't know if you know Kelly Reseller Louise. I wanted to
Yeah,
give a
yeah,
shout out
yeah. I talk to them now and
to
then.
the HL Flippers here in the chat, and I wanted to say hey to Paul, the Flipping Sports guy, is here. If you guys have questions for our guests, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So you were working as a barista, then you worked for the city water company, and then at
Yeah.
what point? Because were you kind of doing reselling part time on the side, and then kind of building your store up? At what point would you feel like it was safe for you to jump and do this full time? Because if you guys don't know, I have his YouTube link listed down below. I mean, he's had weekends where he did like $4,000 in sales and stuff in one weekend. So I mean, you've been hustling, you've been doing putting a lot of work because they don't just
Yeah, yeah.
they don't just give you
No,
that many
I always
sales.
doing something. I'm always doing something else. I mean, I always have something going on in the background. I mean,
Yeah,
before I got into like eBay reselling, I would do the car auctions. I would go to car auctions, buy used cars, and sell those. I mean, a bunch of little things here and there. And yeah, like you said, I've always kind of been selling stuff, reselling stuff. I had a period where I kind of, I mean, like anything, it's overwhelming, or you want to try something different, and that's when I stopped. But yeah, I've pretty much been selling all this while. And it was just I was coming up on my like second, third year at the water department here, and it just started draining on me, in and out, clock in, clock out. Just the way they kind of held me to certain standards, kind of busy work just to keep me there. And you can tell I speak a lot fast. I'm kind of moving all the time, and to be forced to sit down, it's just, yeah, it wasn't working for me no more. So I made a plan, an exit plan. I have I set my goals that way to get things done. So my exit plan was to save enough money to pay my bills for 6 months, and then to have a backup plan, so that in case it didn't work out for me, I would be able to do it. And for me, I got my real estate license before I left, just in case. That would be my plan B. If reselling didn't work, I already had my license. I put it with the broker. I was good to go. And I saved the money that I needed, and then I just did it. But I don't know, I just took off running. Once you have all your energy dedicated to a platform, something like that, you're gonna get what you put into it. And it just started working for me, where I never had to even sell a house, where I never had to do anything else, look for another job, nothing like that. And I've just been making it work here, trying to get better at it, but making it work.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. Yeah, the cool thing is that once you leave the corporate world and become like, self-employed, become an entrepreneur, if things don't work out, you can always go get a part-time job. You can always go back to getting a job, and then still
there's always that.
Reselling on the side. Like, it's not, the corporate world's not going to go anywhere. There's still going to be jobs out there available. No. But I think,
it's here to stay.
Well, I'm just saying, as I noticed when I got a little bit older, it's like I started to value my time more and value my free time more than just getting a paycheck. So, I mean, it's cool to have the job security of knowing, hey, I've got a paycheck coming in every week, whether it's, $800 or $1,000 every week. But then at the same time, it's like, you heard those terms, they call them golden handcuffs. You have to show up and report to work. And that's still your job.
Checking for everything. Yeah.
Right. And, I was thinking about that the other day, even though, we watch, professional NBA players, and then like LeBron James, for example, he's making, I don't know, $30 million a year as a basketball player, and he's got all these endorsement deals, but he still has to show up and report to work. Like, he still has to show up on Christmas Day or Thanksgiving to show up to work to play basketball. Like, that's his job. He can't be like, oh no, you guys are paying me $30 million. I'm sick today. I'm calling in sick. Like, he still has to show up and report to work. And when you're self-employed, being an entrepreneur, you can kind of pick and choose when you want to work. Like, if you have something going on, let's say you wanted to go to, let's say you've had kids or your nephew and you want to go to one of their birthday parties, you can schedule your work schedule to be able to go.
The best parts of it.
Yeah, to be able to go do that and say, hey, I'm here. I hung out. Like, I had one of my nephew's birthday parties a couple weeks ago, and I was able to come by. We had ordered pizza. We had cake and ice cream. We had this big cookie cake. I got on this Mortal Kombat game, and they were playing Mortal Kombat with Terminator and Rambo and all this stuff. They was hanging out, had a Mortal Kombat tournament, and I was able to hang out with them, watch them open their presents, order pizza, have cake and ice cream and all that. And then when it was like, all right, kids, time to go to bed, then it's like time for me to, clock in and go to work. So that's a really awesome thing where you can kind of are in control of your own schedule.
You're going to put that in place. You get to decide what's important for you and when.
Yeah, because I mean, work is always going to be there, but it's just cool where you're like, hey, I'm going to take 2 hours out of my day. My nephew's only going to turn 10 once in his life. I want to be there to his birthday party, and you can go. And if you were working a 9-to-5 job, you would have to put 2 weeks notice in advance to get one day off from work, and there would be a big hoopla of jumping through all these hoops just to be able to go to your nephew's birthday party, So it's just cool having that luxury of being self-employed. So hey,
you get used to it
earlier you were talking about goals. I can tell like your brain runs like 100 miles a minute, like mine. Like, I can't shut it off sometimes. I'm like, I'm trying to go to sleep, but I'm trying to like turn my brain off so I can go to sleep.
So, ready.
Right. So what are some of your goals that you have this year for 2022? Because we're still in January. It's still early in the year. So what are some of the goals that you have for yourself this year in 2022?
For definitely last year, one of them was to pay myself $1,000 a week. So that's what I pay myself, $1,000 a week. And then, but I've only reached that point towards like the end of July to the end of the year. So now this year going forward, I want to start. And then so far I have paid myself $1,000 a week all week, which would be awesome if I can get that all the way through. And it's looking good, but I mean, I can't just stop and let the year run out. I have to continue the same stuff that I've been doing that got me here. Yeah. But that's one of the big ones, $1,000 a week. I want to increase the amount of direct contacts I have for merchandise. It's getting a little harder. I don't know for you guys that you can tell. Things are harder to source. There's more people trying to do it, and the price of stuff is more expensive. And yeah, I'm having the same issues. But I do have 6 people. I counted them the other day. I was like, how many people I got direct contacts that sell me stuff directly? Just yesterday, some guy came in, dropped off a pallet of merchandise that's gonna make me a lot of money. But he just has me like on speed dial. He comes and drops it off, and I need more of that, because that only gets you so far. Once your business is growing, it only gets you so far. So I need more people like that. So those are the big things for the business. And obviously, increase my social media presence. I've been messing with Reels this year so far. I've been consistent with it, and just continue to do that and continue to grow my following and my audience.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely nice if you can do that, but I agree. Like, I'm in Florida and I feel your pain. I mean, shipping costs are going up, because I like to buy stuff in bulk instead of, I don't have a problem going to the thrift store, but it's like sometimes you're fighting traffic. You get to this thrift store, you find a parking spot, you might come home with 5 or 10 items in the thrift store, make $50 or $100. You're waiting in line to check out. You know, then you're having to go jump through all these hoops to maybe make $50 or $100, where I could just press one button and boom, have, you know, 1,000 items, 1,500 items, you know, delivered to my door that's new in the shrink wrap. Then it cuts out a lot of your middleman time there. But like you said, when the cost of goods go up, shipping costs go up, and then there may be more people doing it, but they ain't got the same work ethic as us. So that's like, I'm not worried about competition, because it's like they're not willing to do what I'm willing to do. You know, it's like I'm willing to clock in and put in 12, 14-hour days and be able to build something and have results. And these other guys aren't willing to do what I'm willing to do. So bring it on.
I've tried to show a few people already, and they don't stick to it. I'm like, it's not always easy. I mean, obviously I'm showing my highlight reel, but it's not like that every day.
Right. You can show them, you can tell them, but it's like you can't like do the work for them. You know, it's kind of like they have to actually get into the trenches and do the work. So it's kind of easy to tell somebody how to do it, and kind of, you know, I can sit here and show them tutorial videos on how to do it, but if you don't have that like drive and an entrepreneurial spirit, and you're so used to being kind of working that 9 to 5 schedule of being told when to clock in, when your lunch break is, and when to go home, and then now you don't have that person, you know, checking on you every 5 minutes to make sure you're working and pushing you and saying, well, you know, you show up to work 5 minutes later, you only have a 30-minute lunch break. And if you don't have that discipline and that schedule and that work ethic, then a lot of this will fall flat on your face. I'm not saying you 100%. Would, but I'm saying for a lot of people, if they don't have that discipline, they're better off to have a regular 9 to 5 job and do reselling on the side. So let me say hello. We had
for everybody.
Right. We had a bunch of people jump in the chat. I want to give a shout out to buddy Cali Reseller Louise is here. Sean Harris is here. ATL Flippers is here. We have a question here. Says, how do I start? It's really easy, man. As far as starting on eBay, I would just download the eBay seller app, and you could just start off going to yard sales and thrift stores. And I have my phone right here, but what you would do is you download the eBay app. That's the first thing you would do. And then a lot of the stuff, a lot of items, for example, have barcodes like this. And you would find items, let's say with a barcode, and you could scan the barcode, and then it will pull it up on eBay, and it'll say, hey, this is how many of this item is listed. This is what it's selling for. So obviously, let's say hypothetically you're at a thrift store and you scan the barcode, and let's say it was selling at the thrift store for 50 cents. And then let's say on eBay it was selling for $20. So that, in a nutshell, that's all you're doing is you're buying low and selling high. And what you do is you would just go onto the sold listings on eBay, and it will show you how many of those particular items have sold in the past 90 days. So you can kind of get an idea of sell-through rate of what you need to do. But in a nutshell, I mean, I have like over 450 videos on my channel, and there's tons of other people in the community that can help you. But the first thing you would probably want to do is download the eBay seller app and then go from there. It's not nearly as complicated as people make it out to be. Yeah. All you're doing is buying low and selling at a higher price. And then you take your capital and you reinvest it back in your business, and it grows over time. So in a nutshell, that's the easiest way that I could tell you. Let's see. Jen is here. I wanted to give a shout out to Jen's Multiverse is here. I wanted to say hey to the Georgia Picker. Man, your YouTube channel has been growing. I've been keeping an eye on you. You've been hustling, so keep up the good work. And I wanted to say hey to Silver Hair Stacker is here, and Sean Harris. We had a question here from the ATL Flippers. He says, what items do you mainly focus on? So do you have a certain niche or a certain market that you focus on reselling on?
Yeah. The biggest percentage of my sales is probably used electronics. That's what I mostly sell. Like dash cameras, laptops, phones, accessories for stuff like that. All that. That's my biggest category.
Okay, cool. Do you mind sharing with our audience what your sales were in the past 90 days? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I just want people to know, like, hey, if you do decide to go full time, this is the kind of stuff that's possible if you're willing to put the work in. And, you know, you didn't start just yesterday. You've been doing this as your full time gig now, I think you said for 3 years, correct?
3 years coming up next month, yeah. Right now, since I haven't shared it on my personal page, I don't think I'll do that now. But I can say, I mean, I pay myself $1,000 a week comfortably, and I have money for other things.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's good. So, so you mainly sell electronics. Where are some of the places that you go sourcing at to get inventory?
For me, flea market is a big one. I want to say it's like maybe 60% of where I buy items from. Flea markets. Like I said, I live in the Inland Empire. There's so many flea markets out here. Probably within 20 minutes, I can hit maybe 5 or 6 different ones. So that there's just a lot of potential for me to find items. There's a whole lot of thrift stores, a lot of the bigger centers for where people donate things and stuff. It's all right here. So there's just a lot of things for me locally that I go there. Thrift stores, not so much. When I'm feeling desperate, I'll check those out. But I scour my local OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace to try to find items there as well.
Okay, cool. So what would be, well, let's say hypothetically, what would be like your 3 tips or piece of advice to help somebody out, to help another reseller out, whether they're doing it part-time and they want to become full-time, or maybe they just want to make a full-time income to be able to pay their bills every month? What would be like your top 3 piece of advice that you could think of off the top of your head that would help them?
For someone starting or for someone that's already doing it?
Either way, maybe somebody, if someone's a newbie, or maybe somebody is doing it part-time already and they want to increase their income to have a full-time income reselling. Either way.
Okay. For part-time, I've helped a few people that are network with me in this area, and they've also grown their stores like a lot. And for them, the biggest thing that helped them was to narrow down, like you said earlier, like a niche of stuff you like to sell. I like to sell electronics. I know a lot about them. I'm interested with them. So it's easy to sell them. If I started selling clothes or auto parts or something like that, I would not care enough to want to do the work when I don't want to. So yeah, pick a niche that you like, something you like when you're trying to grow. Consistent posting has helped me out a lot. I set a target right now. It's 22 items per day. I list 22 new items per day. And that has definitely helped me with engagement and clicks and stuff like that. That would be a big one. And then, I don't know, keep track of your, run it like a business. Don't run it like a hobby. If you're trying to grow it, it has to be a business. You got to know how much money you're spending. You got to know like your average margins that you're making on money. So I know if I sell like $1,000, the lowest I'll make is about 35%. So every $1,000 in sales, I'll make 350 in my pocket. So I like knowing stuff like that. If you don't know how you're making, then I mean, you're not running a business. And I try to run it like a business.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And being consistent and all that. So, how many items do you have active right now on eBay? And is that the only platform that you're selling on right now?
I'll say it is the only one I'm selling. I technically have a few items listed on Mercari, but it's mostly eBay. And right there, I think I'm just under 2,900 active listings.
Okay, cool. We have a question here from Jen's Multiverse. Says, how long does it take you to list 20 items in a day?
I'll say if you count like the processing, I guess, for electronics, you got to test them and things like that. I'd say maybe about 4 minutes total per item, start to finish. So when I start working, it's like I'm working. So it's just no distractions. So about 4 minutes per item. So, I mean, do the math, I guess about 80 minutes, about an hour and a half would be for 20 items. Yeah, that shouldn't be a big deal. Maybe 2 hours, we'll stretch it out, but that should be very feasible.
All right,
it is
cool.
now at least, yeah.
So how many days a week do you say that you go out sourcing? You said you had a couple of contacts that deliver stuff in bulk to you, but how many days a week do you usually go sourcing? You just go like the flea markets on the weekends, or do you have some other spots that you hit?
It's at least 3, but I try to go at least 5. So 3, I have to make 3 happen, but I try to go for more. So it's usually Wednesdays for me, Fridays, and one of the weekends, Saturday or Sunday, depending what my plan is. That have to be done, and then sometimes I'll throw in a Thursday in there or a Saturday and Sunday, but at least 3.
Okay, cool. I wanted to say hey real quick to Silver Hair Stacker says, I'm a retired teacher here. I resell about 20 hours a week. My 90-day gross sales is $14,000 for 90 days, pretty consistent. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you can still kind of do that 20 hours a week and kind of make it your part-time gig. And, if you're a retired teacher, I'm assuming you still have health insurance and you have a pension and you're still getting a pension check every week or every month as a school teacher. There's a lot of resellers that are like that kind of do it part time, but still $14,000 for 90 days gross is really really awesome. I wanted to say hey to Rescue and Resell is here. Says hey guys, I'm lurking while I'm working. Hey, thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. So I got to kind of put you on the spot a little bit. What is some of your I know we talked about reselling. I know you talked about your social media presence. But what are some of the other projects or things that you like to do in the future? Like if someone came to you and they said, hey, man, what is it that you really would like to do in 3 years from now or 5 years from now down the road? Like, where do you see yourself in the future that you're kind of working towards?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I did get my real estate license, and that was because I'm interested in getting to real estate. So right now for this year was really figuring out where I can run this consistently, where there's a pattern, anyone can kind of replicate what I'm doing. Like, for example, having some work for me. So I've been saving money on the back end as well, and I'm gonna get into real estate. So there's a few markets already. I'm talking to some people that I want to go check out and do some tours to see if it works for me. That's gonna be a big one. Real estate is where ultimately that's where you build wealth, I think. And I mean, obviously we can't be doing this forever. Like you said, I look young, but I know we're not gonna be young forever. So we gotta get something long term that's gonna be there in the long term once we stop all this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have my real estate license as well here in the state of Florida. And one of my goals is I've been trying to get my broker's license. So I don't want to bore you guys with real estate if you're not interested in that. But basically, when you first get your license, you're like, you basically have like a white or yellow belt in karate. And then, you work your way up. And then here in the state of Florida, you have to have at least 2 years experience. And then you can go to this class and go to the school. And then you have to take a state exam, and then you could get your broker's license. So I've been kind of waiting because I had a license previously in the state of Kentucky before I moved down to Florida, but your hours and all that stuff doesn't transfer. It's almost like if you have a license to be let's say you had a license to be a lawyer in New York and you move from New York to Florida, it doesn't transfer over from state to state. You have to have your license has to start all over again. Yeah, so I'm with you on that. It's good to have other arrows in your quiver and have other different streams of income coming in and have other ways where you can generate revenue. And, real estate, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. The market is pretty hot. I think down here in Florida, there's over 1,000 people a day that's moving here. And then there's always somebody that's retired or passing away, and they're always having to, people that have second homes. So the real estate market down here is hot. And I know in California, you could get a shack for $1 million. Like, a small, I don't mean like derogatory terms like shack, like it's something, some homeless person would live in, but I'm talking about the square footage of the building is really small and it will sell for $1 million. So yeah, that's awesome that you have your license. And I think was a real estate agent. I don't know if you know or not, but if you don't want to work as an agent right now, you can still get leads and then send out referrals to other agents. And then whenever they buy or sell a house, you'll still get a kickback for the referral fee. So I don't know if you're aware of that or not. I just thought I would bring that up.
Something I completely put in the back burner, but that's cool to know because I do have a good relationship with a real estate person.
Jen says, good for you, Jeff, shooting for your broker's license. Yeah, when I was a kid, my uncle had his own brokerage. He had his own company, and it was called it's a small company. It was called Mason Company Realtors, and he was a broker, and he had a bunch of other real estate agents that worked for him. But the cool thing is that they had like a commission split. So he only had to pay them when they actually bought or sold a house. So the other times when they were in the office, working the phones and trying to get leads and all that stuff, he didn't have to pay them. He only had to pay them when they actually brought in revenue. And then the cool thing is he would get a cut of that revenue when they would buy or sell a property. Like the real estate broker would get his cut, and then the agent would get their cut here as well. So that's a cool thing, but I don't want to bore you guys with real estate if you guys came here to learn about reselling. So we talked a little bit about you going to the flea market. Did you have some other thrift stores there? What else can you tell me about your resale business that you're working on right now?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like once you have it like wired down, it's just second nature. This is just what I do. And nothing seems like special that I'm doing. Um, I get my items. I mean, I process what I need to have spaced out for the week. I go through. I ship consistently, like really fast on it. I'm always responding messages real quickly. That's been a big one. I ship daily right now. I technically don't have to ship on Wednesday or Friday, but I do unless I mean whatever happens, but I have that option. But that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. It's just consistency. It's just listing consistently, shipping quickly, consistently. I mean, don't take things personal, messages or things like that. It's just money, just a business. I mean, sometimes people will scam you and things like that. I something just give them the money, move on. It just costs the business, and luckily, I don't have a lot of that issue going on. But yeah, I mean, I just keep it just running as a business. Don't take anything personally because I know sometimes people can get nasty in messages or things like that.
Yeah, I was dealing with some people today, and they just was,
Yeah, like you said,
was losing their head. So sometimes you deal with people that are just having a bad day, and they want to take it out on you. And I just try to, either I'll respond like saying, "Hey, have a good day," or I just don't respond at all and go on about my day because your time.
Right.
Your time is valuable. You only have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
So if you get caught up going back and forth, he said, she said stuff, you're not going to be able to get any work done because you're bickering back and forth with some stranger on the internet. Sometimes you just got to
not
let
worth
this stuff. Yeah, you just got to let it go and go on about your day. So tell people a little bit about your social media platforms. Tell them a little bit about what kind of content you make on your YouTube channel. Tell them where they can find you at on YouTube and Instagram.
So I do, like I said, I do have a YouTube channel. I was posting pretty regularly to it last year. It got a little harder for me to do that thing because you got to have your camera and stuff like that going out and about. And it's just a lot easier now to do reels on Instagram. So I'm at Flores Resales on Instagram. I think that's on Facebook. I think I have the same thing saved for me. And I started making reels, just content related to eBay business as a whole, but also for self-employed people, small business people. And I'm trying to kind of let my personality go into that. I feel like I can be kind of laid back, kind of light, kind of funny. So hopefully I'm enjoying that more like a hobby than anything. I'm not expecting huge results or to make money or to get sponsorships, anything like that. But it's something that I'm enjoying to do. It's growing my business. It's a well use of my time instead of social media for other things. But that's the kind of content I make, just stuff that I feel like could be relatable. I have what is it? Lost my words here. A plan, I guess, Monday through Friday, what I'm supposed to do. So Monday I have to post a story, and then I have to post a motivational reel. So that's the one I'm going to be posting today, and then so on and so forth. Like Tuesday will be like a funny one or whatever. So I just work better during with guidelines, and that's what I'm going to be pushing content that way to the point where it gets easy and consistent, and then I'll up my presence and just enjoy it, just having fun with it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I have all of his link listed down below for YouTube and Instagram. It's in the description down below if you want to go ahead and follow him. All right, man. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you jumping on and hanging out with me. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about before we let you go? I was going to try to have you on for about 30 minutes, and it's almost a half hour now. I'm trying to be respectful of your time.
Yeah, no worries. No questions for me. I mean, I'm willing to answer any questions, I guess, that if anyone has them, but if not, I mean, I'm okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, so if you guys want to go follow him, all the links are down below for YouTube and Instagram. And I will check back in with you later, man. And I hope that you're able to grow your social media and grow your reselling. Yeah, your reselling business. And I'll check back in with you. And I appreciate you hanging out with me all the way from California and kind of making time to jump in here and hang out with us. So do you have any words of wisdom that you can leave our audience with today? Like, do you have any words of wisdom or any insights you can tell the audience about?
With your business, eBay business, get the hard part, the part you hate the most, done first. For me, it's shipping. I hate the shipping part. So that's the first thing I do. I know I have to list. I know I have to take it over there. I know I have to manage my messages. That I'll do eventually. I can do it late at night. But the shipping's the hard part, and that has a time cutoff. So do the hardest part first, and then the rest kind of just gets easy.
Yeah, I'm with you. The thing that I don't like doing the least is pulling orders. So I try to get that out of the way, get done pulling the orders, and then pack it, ship it, get all that stuff dropped off, and the rest of the day is kind of gravy from there. So so I'm with you. Anyways, guys, go ahead and follow our guest. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not even like a morning person, but it's something that you dread doing or you don't like doing. Just get that done and over with. Then you have the rest of the day to go sourcing, listing, get all that stuff done and out of the way, and that way you don't have to worry about late shipments and have your tracking number and all that stuff uploaded. So anyways, I appreciate our guests jumping on and hanging out with us. All the links are going to be down below for YouTube and Instagram. and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Like I said, I have brand new guests for you guys this week. So I will catch you guys tomorrow afternoon. I think it's around 4 p.m. Eastern. So I will see you then. Till then, go ahead and follow our guests. All the links are down below, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys later. You guys have a great day. Bye, everybody.
See ya.